and I'm trying to sort of keep up and make sense. Harold was always, for me, the go-to guy. Harold, he would always take the time, and we always talk about it, and he would look at me when I was kind of going, what the hell? And Harold would go, Ernie. And then it's like, I knew it was okay. I learned a lot from just the way he conducted himself and he carried himself. And it helped me to sort of remember to always keep my balance. He always seemed to be balanced, and I appreciated that about him. And I've always felt very close to him, I think because of it, because I learned a lot from him.
It was a wonderful thing to see him smile, to make him laugh. That was a big reward.
William, how about you? What are your thoughts on?
Well, I didn't know him before. I didn't have a great deal to do with him making it, but every single time I had anything to do with him meant something, and I found him a man of extraordinary goodness and great taste. He had an innate, deep taste about what was good, what was appropriate, and he was calm, but you always felt that whatever insanity was going around, he was marshaling in his head in a way that was going to make everything good. That's how I felt. You could trust his criticism, and that is a great thing.
Ivan, can you tell us about casting Annie Potts as Janine? She brought that great voice, not a natural voice, but she had it as Long Island, tough working girl. Like, what did she bring to the character?
Well, just a wonderful actress, and with great ranges. You could see from the wonderful things she's done on television and other films. She was just great fun to work with. She was just a real person, you know, in this sort of insanity. And I thought she didn't have to say much in this film. We didn't write a lot of stuff for her. She has more to do in the second movie, but she was immediately likable and made sense as a New Yorker because of the character and the voice that she created for herself. And we added the red hair, which she's really not a redhead. And she made this sort of indelible impression.
She's over it. I love that scene, your first scene in the movie, Ernie, where she couldn't care less about the Loch Ness Monster or ESP. And you couldn't care less about that either. I've never seen such a dramatic scene between two people who don't care about what they're talking about. Any memories of shooting that scene?
Yeah, no, I think that was the first scene that I shot was that scene, and then we went to the containment unit with Danny and the big Twinkie, and it was just very, and she was wonderful. I mean, I consider her a good friend. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't see her very often, but I just really appreciate her. She's wonderful.
We actually have a video from her, a message to you guys. So even though she couldn't be here from afar, she's going to be on the screen. So I guess we'll cue that up and roll it.
Hi everybody, it's Annie Potts. I want to thank you for coming to share our 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters with all of us. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I'm on a press junket elsewhere. I wish I could be there. Thank you all for 35 years of devotion to maybe the funniest film of all time. Thank you.
I think we're ready to open it up for the fans. If you guys have a few questions, how shall we select them? You want me to call on them?
Raise their hand. I got a microphone. They can just ask the question right over here. Hey, everybody.
All right.
Kid over here with a question right here. Quick, run, quick. There you go. Your question.
I can't keep it. Hi. Since Harold will be absent in the 2020 movie, do you have any in-universe ways to explain that? And is that part of the plan?
Well, Jason's not here, but Ivan, do you want to field that?
No. He's always here.
Take another question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What was your favorite moment during filming the first movie? For all of them, I guess.
For all of you.
Well, I had an apartment above Columbus Circle around on the 60th floor, and the night we walked Mr. Stay Puft down Broadway, I was up there watching the extras respond to Ivan's direction, and it was as if Godzilla and everybody, the way they were reacting. They did a beautiful job of reacting and fleeing down through Columbus Circle. Real people, real extras, real police cars, real stunt players, and I got to watch that from a bird's eye view. And when I saw that, I said, "Yeah, $1 million make-believe for sure."
Ernie, your favorite moment?
I don't know. There was so many. Just shooting in New York, shooting on the street, seeing how the fans sort of came out and just reacted. Yeah, it was great. I probably working with Danny in that car scene, talking about the end of the world. It was just really wonderful.
Love working with you anytime, sir. Anytime.
You know, driving the car across town traffic, and the car kind of broke down. But it was magic, and it was a lot of. It's hard to pick out.
And stealing shots all over Manhattan, stealing shots in the car and on Broadway and Fifth Avenue. Yes, Maddie.
What was the hardest scene to shoot while filming the movies?
Hardest scene to shoot?
The stuff on stage, Ivan, like the temple, the wind effects, the lights, and that was kind of grueling.
It was really the first time I was doing visual effects. And we built the set. The production designer was John DeCure Sr. He was about 85 or 86 when we did the film. He's one of the most brilliant production designers in the history of Hollywood. He was nominated at least 18 times for Academy Awards. And he created this remarkable set. He's the one who really thought of the doors and that remarkable rooftop that's on that building, and helped sort of us figure out how the hell we were going to do whatever it was that we had in our script. And you're talking about what my favorite scene was. That was the hardest, doing everything on the roof. My favorite was on my way to work one day, because I was in a hotel just across the park, and I remember the doorman coming up to me and saying, "You shooting in that building on Central Park West?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, there was this terrible earthquake there. The ground had come up because the crew had built this thing, and everybody thought it was real, that there was some kind of opening in the ground that had screwed up a car." And I said, "Oh, God, this is good. Okay."
Willie, what was your favorite scene?
Well, real quick, just two things, kind of mirroring what Dan was saying. When on Central Park West, for those 3 nights when they were shooting, I think some of the biggest stuff. Excuse me. This was all pre-CGI. All of those lights, everything was so beautiful. It was so extraordinarily, almost cataclysmically beautiful. It was one of the most moving things that I've ever seen, and I've never had an emotion quite like that watching anything I've been in or watching a production go. It was truly remarkable. And what Ivan was saying about the design, the art design, the art in Ghostbusters it's incomparable. It's just gorgeous. And just to see that was amazing. The other thing was the mayor's office scene for me.
I love that
scene. with Bill and David Margulies, who was terrific. And that was really kind of fun magic time. That's it. For me.
My question is for Will. I understand that you, from the commentaries and things, that they really dropped that shaving cream on you. How did that feel?
I felt felt like shaving cream.
It felt like shaving cream.
A really big, heavy load of shaving cream?
Well, no,
Warm,
I
cold.
think they put somebody. I said, you know, I got a little worried because they said, well, we're going to drop the shaving cream, and I asked how much did it weigh, and they said 150 pounds, and I said, oh, okay. But you know, like 100, I remember in Earth Science, 150 pounds of feathers and 150 pounds of lead is still 150 pounds. So I got a little worried, and so they went, oh Jesus, what are we gonna do with this guy? So they put some poor guy in there, I don't know who did it, second AD or something, and they let it go, and it kind of knocked him flat. So they put a little less for me ultimately.
Walter Peck was right again.
Close shave. Here's a question.
I know in the courtroom scene in the second movie, Bill talked about putting on the proton packs. Were those things really that heavy in both movies and the slime blowers? Because I know you guys wore the slime blowers. Were they really all that heavy?
The packs that everybody have manufactured and you're all wearing today, they're about the weight of what we were wearing. They were heavy. They were 150 pounds. They were heavy metal. There were some rubber ones that Billy preferred to use. So I always put the pack on. I didn't use the rubber one because I don't trust myself as an actor to show that weight. I could have faked it and put a rubber one on and pretended it was 150 pounds. No method. I'm going to put that thing on there, and it's going to be the real pack. But no, they were really, really heavy. But Billy did use the rubber one, which looked the same.
Gentlemen, I just want you guys to know the strength of your movie. I was 8 when it came out. I had a tremendous fear of death, like beyond uncontrollable. When this movie came out, it gave me all the courage to, you know, face my fears, and I still use that on my little ones in my family, and it works. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you very much, and that's why I enjoyed the girls' film, because it also gave those little girls a chance to fight their demons, you know, so thank you guys.
We love Lady Ghostbusters, we do.
Is that part of the story, Ivan, the idea of laughing in the face of death?
Yeah.
Let's take another couple questions, maybe.
Right up there.
You got the mic?
How about a Ghostbuster here?
Hey, so what's so fascinating about the movie, and this is for the directors and writers, is that you managed to start it so grounded with just a couple of guys, 3 guys that got fired from their jobs to try to start a business. By the end of the movie, you've got a giant marshmallow man walking down the street. Can you just talk about the process of getting us there? And like, we were all there for the ride, and we went there and we loved it. So just talk about the process of developing that.
Well, I think Harold, I think he was suggested that we set it in a university. I think it was you and Harold really that I thought that's where we should start.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to pitch this story in a real way, and bring all the brilliance of Danny's imagination into a kind of a realistic setting. I always thought it would be much more powerful in a contemporary New York that we understand. So a large terror dog in a condominium or an apartment in New York is much more interesting than seeing it run around in some fantasy scape where everything is sort of made up, and that was really the heart of it. My greatest fear was the Marshmallow Man. The Marshmallow Man was in Danny's original treatment,
but not at the end. It was kind of in the halfway through. Yeah.
You know, as one of many extraordinary creatures, but it even in that script with so many other things, it stuck out as a kind of a really wonderful but kind of goofy idea, and it was the thing that I was the most worried about. I thought, we get away with everything. I'm not sure if we're going to get away with the Marshmallow Man. And Sheldon Kahn, who's here somewhere, I think, who edited this movie and edited brilliantly, managed to put the movie. You know, we shot from around middle of September till the middle of January of 1984, and February the 17th, I think, we had a screening on the Burbank lot of the movie, his very first cut, and it had very few special effects, but fortunately we were doing much of what we did live. So you know, in Dana's apartment. The eggs are really cooking for real. And but when the guys were shooting their proton packs, of course, we were going like this, and pretending things were coming out of it, but nothing was coming out of it. We had one shot with the Marshmallow Man. It was the very first close-up of the rubber head way back in the distance in Soho somewhere, walking against the skyline of Manhattan. And watching the movie is playing extraordinarily well. It was probably played as well that very first screening as I had ever seen it. And I kept going, oh God, please, I hope this Marshmallow Man thing is going to work. And I knew I had that one shot to sort of help explain it. And as soon as that head bobbed around in that wonderful way that it does, the laughs, the screaming, and I said, oh, thank God, we're going to get to the end, all right.
Well, that brings
He was a
us...
sailor. When I said the Viking, I said, you know, I want a benign, benevolent brand symbol like the Michelin Tire Man or the Pillsbury Doughboy or the Angelus Marshmallow Man. In Canada, we had Angelus marshmallows, and he was a top with a little star. And the Viking said, okay, and then he mails me the initial renderings, and I opened it up, and he's made the guy a sailor like that. I doubled over, I couldn't believe, I laughed for 10 minutes. And I thought, this is going to be so good. And in the movie, of course, Bill improvises, and he's a sailor. You know, he improvises the line, you know. Yeah, so, Mr. Stay Puffed, we love him. He's on people's skin here today.
I think that brings us to the end.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you guys. Ghostbusters.
Yes, stand up! We love it! Fantastic! Woo.
He wants to know if there's a terror dog in the new movie. But I don't know if we can answer
There'll
it.
be lots of surprises.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Dan.